Hey everyone, hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just coming on to XRP once again. Thank you for support. Okay, we got a CoinsKid cruise. So there was a lovely little short opportunity yesterday that I did show you in the XRP video updates, and equally tweeted out to the CoinsKid crew on Twitter as well. Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. But some of you did jump onto that particular trade. One of the coins that I did tweet about yesterday and showing you a video was Mask. And basically, if you take a look, this guy here, he jumped into his short. Whopping trade. It came down roughly 46%. I think it peaked down there today. 46% in a whole day. What a trade. Unfortunately, I closed out at 30%, to be honest with you, and I've relayed that to the CoinsKid crew, and it continued to go down the stairs. And obviously, I'm kicking myself that I've not held on, but you know, these opportunities don't come around very often. But it was brought to our attention by the crypto blocks, the futures crypto blocks on CoinsKid.com. You can clearly see yesterday. Look at that flipping orange, okay? And like I've said to you, whenever you start to see anything flip orange, it's greed. And look at that Mask, flipped orange, jumped into the short, amazing. Equally, Comp and Tron were giving short opportunities, and both of those have come down. This came down around about 12%. Comp and Tron, I think, came down around roughly 5%. So there are other opportunities in the market, and I've relayed them to the CoinsKid crew. So we'll dive in and take a look at the futures blocks to see if we can see any more shorts going forward, and then we'll jump into the XRP chart, see what we can see, okay? So yesterday, Mask increased the probability of that correction. Like I said to you, if you do start to see things creeping into greed and extreme greed, you've got a massive increased probability of your short playing out, and that's what we look for on the futures crypto blocks. Equally the opposite, if you're looking for longs, you want to see things dripping into the yellow and obviously dark green, which is extreme fear and fearful. And we've traded these before. You know, there's many coins that we've gone long because of the futures crypto blocks, and we've done incredibly well off, you know, that people can remember. So basically what I'm going to do, and you know, it's in the pipeline, please bear with me, I'm going to make a notification system for this particular feature on our website that pings us, okay, that basically sends us a message on Discord for anyone that's in the CoinsKid Elite. As soon as we see something creep into greed or extreme greed or even extreme fear and obviously fearful, then it will ping us. Right now, if you take a look, typically towards the back of the market is where we do start to see the laggards, and you've got one just there. VIDT is currently in a state of fearful. So you know, if you're looking for longs, that would be a best case, because what you do, you click on it, see if there's a bullish divergence, and then obviously I've taught you before, if there is a massive bullish divergence, that increases the probability of your long playing out. Equally, the other side, if you're starting to see the greed and extreme greed kick into the market with a bearish divergence, that increases the probability of your short playing out. So yesterday, you know, Mask, it was a beautiful trade, and hopefully we can find these trades again. But right now we do have a couple of coins that is creeping up again. We've got Tron, we've got BCH, we've got Carver, we've got CFX, and we've got this coin here, Inge, and equally this one here, ICX, and we've got this one here, KNC, and towards the back end we've got FLM, and we have Mocha. So again, you know, your own due diligence, come along, click on the crypto futures blocks, click the block, have a look. Does it have bearish divergence? If it does, and it starts to creep into greed, then yeah, you've got a massive opportunity right there of a short playing out with a very minimal risk trade again. So let's dive into the XRP chart, see what we can see today, okay? Looking at XRP in the 5-day time frame, I'm going to zoom in on lower time frames in a moment, but I've shown you this before, and the reason I don't actually think that XRP is cooked here, and the reason I'm not selling XRP is one of the reasons. It's simple. It's the ribbon on the 5-day time frame, an indicator I made for the CoinsKid crew. Go back to the videos here. I said to you, we're getting our ass back above the 5-day. We've got this compression pattern, you know, right towards the apex. I'm expecting a huge vertical here, and we got exactly that. But you know, a lot of people say no way, you're an idiot and things like that. But like I said to you, I don't necessarily think we'll break out the all-time high here. Go back to the videos at this time frame when this was coming up. I said to you, I think we'll have a correction at the all-time high, because it's exactly what we did in the previous cycle, and it just makes sense to do that, and then come back to the previous pivot high, look at that, we find support on it and the ribbon, and you know, coil up for the next explosive move to the upside. So there's no bias, I'm just simply relaying the data to you, and this is why I've not actually sold on XRP, because I think we've got another leg to the upside. And obviously I'm looking for the invalidation, and I think the invalidation will come within the structure, and obviously the ribbon indicate that. Create for yourselves. So if you want to get this indicator, go to CoinsKid.com and follow the process. This is a CoinsKid ribbon, so you can clearly see at the top of this impulse here, and this is really important, this is price structure. Pay attention to this, because what we've got in a very quick period of time is a massive sharp rug pull that lost the ribbon. Okay, so that was the first warning shot. Okay, you're coming in for your big whopping correction, and you can clearly see on the ribbon, you know, one of the key things we did here is flip red, so that was projection to the downside. When you flip green again, a massive projection to the upside. So in this cycle here, on this impulse, look what happened in a very quick period of time, XRP had a very sharp rug pull that lost the ribbon. Okay, really important. So sharp rug pull, lost the ribbon. Sharp rug pull, lost the ribbon. In this period here, we've not had this quick sharp rug pull. This is consolidation, in my opinion, and this is again me just respecting the structure. At the moment, what we're doing, we've come up, we've gone sideways as expected at the all-time high. We're consolidating on this previous pivot, and we're holding the ribbon. We've not necessarily had this big pullback, that we've seen in this particular impulse. Quick sharp rug pull that lost the ribbon. Quick sharp rug pull that lost the ribbon. What we've done is basically gone sideways on the ribbon. So if we can hold the ribbon and hold its support, I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility that XRP breaks, consolidates and goes again, taking out the all-time high, because it's exactly what it's doing. It's consolidating at the all-time high. So again, there's no bias. If XRP had topped here, it would have looked something like this. Quick sharp rug pull with a matter of weeks that loses the ribbon. So at the moment we are actually holding the ribbon. So again, there's no bias. What I think we've got here is a 1 into a 2 into a 3 into a 4 into a potential final fifth wave. At that point you come in for your wave 4 correction, which should look a little bit like that, holding the ribbon once more, and then you come back out. And I think what we've got is a huge impulse from this low. There's your 1, there's your 2, there's your 3 that comes up for 5, and it looks a little bit like that, okay, for XRP before the cycle ends and we roll into a big macro bear market right there. So again, I'm just respecting the structure, I'm respecting the indicators I've made for yourself, and one of the key things we're looking at is the S&P 500. Right now it is attacking the all-time highs, so if we can start to see it enter that price discovery again and all-time highs, it does increase probability we are going to see this break to the upside for XRP. So let's zoom in on the lower time frames right now to see what we can see for XRP. Okay, so looking at XRP on a 4-hourly time frame, you can clearly see how well these pivot points are working on the crystal ball indicator. And again, this golden line is really simple to get into your charts. Just go to CoinsKid.com, follow the process. It's basically it's a custom indicator that I created for the CoinsKid crew called the crystal ball indicator, based on M2 global money supply with some tweaking. Okay, so we've got a 76-day offset, and I think that at the moment is working best, because if you take a look, we've got a liquidity event last year in March where liquidity left the market and then XRP began to break down like this. So really simple. If you take a look, the range was broken in, I think it was September for liquidity, where it began to break back to the upside. And then if you take a look just here, we've got a liquidity event where we're breaking a range, I think in May, but obviously XRP is not breaking the range. It's come up into the range, got resistance, and it's now coming back in a correction basically. So the clue is, I think, in liquidity takes a while to trickle down into minnows of risk, which is basically your XRP. So the key chart we have to pay attention to, and I've shown you this multiple times to give us the confidence, okay, we are eventually looking at that range break for XRP, is the S&P 500, which right now is attacking the all-time highs. So over the next couple of weeks, if we can see that break, then I think it increases the probability, okay, we are going to start to see a major vertical clear for XRP, and an analysis of another impulsive move to the upside will come to fruition. Really simple. Okay, so the pivot points of liquidity leaving are right on cue. So I think in time, if we do start to see the crystal ball, the golden line, a huge drawdown, that for me will be my exit strategy. Really simple, probably a little bit hopium right there, but I'm just going to look at that, because what we've got is 2 key pivot points where we saw a significant drawdown for XRP on this liquidity drawn down basically, and we've seen it just here as well at this pivot point, because I think that is the actual top of an impulsive move, because I think this is a 3-wave move to the upside, and all of this right now is part of the correction that we're going through here for XRP. So again, the correction may not be over, who knows, no one's got a crystal ball, but one thing that's sort of got me quite excited for the future is obviously this liquidity, the fact that the crystal ball is still breaking out to the upside, it's still trending upwards, and we're not seeing a major drawdown just yet. So I think that one of the key clues will be in the S&P 500 to back up the theory that liquidity is coming back into risk on basically. So what I'm looking at right now, really simple, same pivot points of liquidity being withdrawn where we've seen big corrections for XRP. So if we start to see a major drawdown in liquidity being withdrawn, at that point, wherever it is in the future, I think that is our exit strategy right there. So until that day comes, I'm holding on for dear life. Now XRP at the moment, if you take a look, I think a lot of people think that that's a true range, the high. I actually don't think it is. I think the true range is where we hit here, and you clearly see resistance there, resistance there, resistance there. I do think in time, if we start to take that range out, we're incredibly bullish. So going forward, around about $2.85, I think that will be obliterated, and I think the all-time high will be obliterated, and we'll just enter price discovery and go vertical. So possibly probably a little bit of hopium down the line, but you know, I'm looking for more invalidation. I'm looking for data points in the structure in the charts, and I just don't see it, because like I said to you, all of this price structure here for me is corrective, overlapping, zigzaggy price structure, you know, pretty much like what we experienced last summer, overlapping corrective price structure. So this is why I remain bullish in all of this consolidation, which is, you know, why I'm still bullish here for XLP. So until the day comes that, you know, I'll get more data and more bearish data in the charts, you know, I'm just looking for another impulsive move here for XLP, and this is why I've not sold, and I keep relaying that to you. So just playing the accumulation game. We bought here, and even if it flash crashes down again, I'll just buy again for XLP, because we've not seen the typical big flush quick sharp drop that we see after every single impulsive wave is cooked. Basically, this is something I'm trying to relay to you. So I think the next big move to the upside, we should see some kind of big consolidation event again, and then another break to the upside, and that's it. This market's cooked. I don't think we can go much further than that, so I'll leave you with that. But at the moment, I just think it's accumulation game here for XLP. I don't necessarily think we've entered some kind of bear market, and this is why I'm holding on for dear life. Hope you understand the update. Stay obviously, stay tuned. Take care everyone. Back to another update on XLP. Bye bye.